Ladies and gentlemen, we got a new outboard alert on our hands. Inside this box is Amazon's new cheapest 4-stroke outboard. And they're also claiming that it is a 9 horsepower outboard for only $350. Let's find out if she's a piece of junk or if it's any good. Starting off super hot with a box inside of a box. I mean, wow, look at the girth on this power head. Get this plastic off of here. I mean, look at the proportions here. Power head is massive. And then the shaft is just super wimpy. Let's get this big girl on an engine stand and take a closer look. Well, here she is. The power head to shaft proportion on this thing is just really messing with me right now. I mean, this thing is just thick. I'll reserve my judgments for now and finish putting this thing together. I see a tiller handle hanging off the side, so let's get this bad boy put on there. I'd say I wouldn't have to be too big of a genius to figure out it's probably supposed to go in here. So let me grab something for that bolt. And look at that, never mind. We got another tool kit sent with this outboard. Let's see if one of these will do the trick. I mean, I've screwed this thing in as far as it'll go without breaking the freaking weld, and look at that. Didn't come with any spacers or anything, so I don't really know what else to do. That's annoying. So I'm trying to play around with the throttle control on the tiller handle here, but this isn't controlling anything. It's just a rubber sleeve. It is this portion that controls the throttle, but check this out. That is a disgusting sound for your throttle control to make. Ugh. Regardless of sound, it does appear that we are getting some throttle arm movement. Not too impressed so far, but now that we have everything put together, let's take a tour of all the features. All right, so what came in the box? We've got not one, but 2 manuals for this thing. Also included are a couple wrenches, a screwdriver, as well as a couple Allen keys. Also, we have this miscellaneous thingamabob here. Not sure what the heck any of this is, but you got some of these. You also get a second spare, disgusting sounding throttle control for your tiller handle. And you also get a backup rubber sleeve for the tiller handle. And last but not least, you get a spare outer cable case covering, whatever you want to call it, for this cable to run through from your tiller arm to the carburetor. And that's it for the extras. So this is now the 3rd outboard review that I have done, and this is the first outboard which did not include any spare spark plugs. All the other ones have at least included some regular maintenance stuff. This one did not. That's -5 points for the -5 points for the Rado 9 horsepower. Okay, so we already got a tour of this disgusting looking tiller handle. Let's go ahead and move on up here. Right here on top looks like somewhere to put fuel in, so it does appear that this section here is an internal fuel tank, which is actually pretty nice to have. Coming around this way, here is our pull start, and right below that would be the oil reservoir. As I said, this is a 4-stroke engine, so there is no need to premix oil and fuel for this. Oil goes here, gas goes up there. It's a 4-stroke, so that's pretty nice. Coming around the side, we've got some sort of airbox with a little muffler here, some sort of exhaust port, and on the front we have only 1 spark plug. I'm still trying really hard to reserve judgments until I see this thing run, but there's only 1 spark plug, which means there's only 1 cylinder. Are you really telling me you're gonna make 9 horsepower in a single cylinder outboard?
Bruh.
I'm calling BS on it for now, but we're gonna test it out, so we'll see. And right up under here would be our carburetor. Standard small engine carburetor, nothing special about it at all. So coming down below here, we actually have an interesting locking mechanism in order to bring this outboard up and down in its trim. So it's actually just a quick little pull this pin out and then lift it up and down. It's actually pretty cool, I like that a lot. And working our way all the way down the shaft, and here is the ugliest cavitation plate I've ever seen. Kind of looks like someone put it together in their garage, but whatever. Finally, below that is our propeller. It certainly looks like plastic, but like a pretty low quality plastic. I don't know what you would call this kind of plastic, but it's not a standard plastic propeller like you'd find on a newer small horsepower Mercury or something like that. And it is a 2-blade propeller. But yeah, right now that's really all there is to this engine. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill up our reservoir with 4-stroke oil. Also gonna put some gear lube in the lower unit. So we'll do that and then we'll drop it in the tank and go for a test run. All right, we've got this engine set up. We got some new fluids, so let's go ahead and fill her up with these. Probably should have had some gloves on for that, huh? Little messy, but she's full of gear oil. We got her done. Also, guys, I did some research and RADO 9.0 actually is an acronym. It stands for Please Subscribe to Boat Busters 9 times. Doesn't have to be 9 times. I'll settle for 1. And just like that, she's got 4-stroke oil, got some gear oil. This thing's about ready to fire up. And last thing we need here should just be a little bit of gas. Let's fire this thing up. There we go. This thing's actually super quiet. This thing is idling rough. Not gonna lie, guys, that sounds horrible. I mean, honest opinion, this thing sounds like it's been smoking 2 packs a day for 50 years. I mean, that is not a good sounding idle for a brand new engine, I'll tell you that. I also just really can't get over, this thing looks like Thor's weed eater. Like, this thing just looks like a massive weed eater. A marine weed eater fit for the god of thunder himself. As of right now, this thing sounds terrible. The gas in my gas can is only like a month old, but I'm gonna go try and get some brand new fresh gas and just see if that helps. All right, we are back with the fresh gas, baby. Take 2, gonna give her some time to get this new gasoline through the lines and see if that helps the idle at all. This engine looks like an angry animal that's trying to get itself out of a trap. This thing looks like it's actively trying to get off of the stand and come kill me. I can't even hold this thing still with the tiller handle. This thing is an angry beast. Sounds a lot better when the engine's choked. It idles a whole lot better when I've got the thing choked, which is strange. Any engine I've ever worked on, when you pull the choke out is how you choke the engine. So I guess I was assuming it was the same with this one, but maybe it's not. I'll double check the instructions. Light knocking or spark exploding sound can be here when the engine overloading. It is normal. Do not worry about that. If knocking or spark exploding sound occur at steady speed under normal load, change gasoline. If you buy this engine and you hear just a little bit of spark exploding sound, it's normal. Don't worry about it. Stop stressing. So I was correct about the choke positioning, and right now this engine only sounds like it's idling well when I have it choked. Something to keep in mind. But one thing I did see in the instructions, it appears that this is a governing screw, and I believe if I unscrew that a little bit, I should be able to get some more speed out of this bad boy. Let's give it a shot. There we go, baby. We got our governor screw completely undone, full power. I don't know who these guys are thinking they're trying to govern me on American soil. No shot. We have to become ungovernable. All right, let's see how much more speed we get now. All right, guys, we're gonna get this engine on the water here really quickly, but I first gotta tell you about Prize Picks. If you guys love kicking back on the couch and watching sports and getting a chance at making some money, Prize Picks is for you. Prize Picks is the #1 daily fantasy sports app in the game right now. Tons of fun and super easy to play. All we're doing here is scrolling through the app, picking 2 to 6 players and choosing whether we think they're gonna get more or less than their Prize Picks projections. Prize Picks is offering huge payouts. You can 100x your money in just a couple taps. Unfortunately, my football season is over. That means MLB opening weekend is soon upon us. I just submitted my lineup for next week's MLB opener. Let me show you who I got. You know I'm taking Ohtani more than 1.5 bases. Also taking Miguel more than 1.5 total bases. Tommy Edman again more than 1.5 total bases. And sorry to Kyle Tucker, but I'm taking less than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. If I get these 4 picks correct, my $50 lineup is gonna win me $925. Guys, go to prizepicks.com and sign up using code BOATBUSTERS. When you do that, all you have to do is play a lineup of $5 or more, and you're gonna get $50 for free, put straight into your account. So click the link in the description, guys. Prizepicks.com, code BOATBUSTERS, daily fantasy sports made easy. Now back to the video. I think we need to get this old girl on a boat, go to the lake and let her eat. Sounds like she's about to tear up the open water. I'm still not sold that an air-cooled single-cylinder 2-blade engine is gonna be pushing a true 9 horsepower, but we're gonna find out. I'll see y'all at the lake. Look at this, guys. The sun is out. It is the first viable day all season where the lake is not frozen. Just a gorgeous day out here. Super excited to test out this engine and get it on the water. I will say one huge advantage with this engine that you couldn't do with a regular engine is warm it up in the parking lot here. It's an air-cooled engine. There's no water, so there's no shame in firing it up and making sure you're not gonna have any issues before you drop it in. Let's see if she'll start. Okay guys, I think we were able to get this thing in a spot where I feel safe bringing it down to the ramp and that it'll fire up. So Rado 9.0. Let's see what you got, baby. Man, I did not leave enough room for my fat behind to get through the door here. I'm hitting the dock. Squeeze. Oh, there we go. Oh boy. I'm a little bit too big for that gap, let me tell you what. Uh-oh. I'm good, don't worry. Well, that was not good. I was 1 second away from this outboard being at the bottom of the lake here, guys. Wow, That was almost a disaster. All right, so what exactly just happened right now? I told you guys in the driveway, this thing just like will not run well unless it's fully choked. I had the engine unchoked after it was fully warmed up, just because that's how an engine's supposed to run. I was on full throttle and the engine ended up dying. So what I did was I re-choked it, and what I did was I slid the tiller handle back to the reset position, but this is just muscle memory. And remember, this little rubber grip slides? But it's actually this clicking. You have to physically click and turn this thing to control the throttle. So what had happened was I was at full throttle and I thought I had put it back to its idle setting, but I choked the engine and pulled it to start it, and this thing revved full throttle and fell off the boat. I barely caught it, barely stopped it from sinking. So far this thing sucks really bad, but we're gonna carry on with the test. This thing's kind of scaring me, so we're heading back to the dock. I'll give you some more updates momentarily. All right, y'all, thankfully for the good Lord above, we were able to get this boat back to the dock and get it back home safely. Guys, this outboard is really bad. Very cheaply made. Everything feels loose and not put together well. I could not for the life of me get the tiller handle to where it is not flapping around in the wind all of the time. And another note on the tiller handle, it is on the opposite side of the outboard that most engines have the tiller handle on. I was not expecting this to be as big of a problem as it was for me. When I am sitting down in my boat, I like to reach around with my left arm and control the tiller. That's how most people know how to operate engines. Having to use your right arm to control the tiller was actually super weird for me. Stuff feels inverted, it just doesn't feel quite right. On top of that, my boat has the seat toward the left side to account for the tiller handle being here and to give me more room, so it was super awkward to have to reach around and control it that way. I mean, that's my personal boat setup. I don't fault the outboard for that, but it was still just really annoying having the tiller on this side. As I also have mentioned a few times, this outboard would not even run right unless it was choked, which is terrible. No outboard should do that. And when it wasn't choked, this thing would bang around and jolt, and I had no idea what it was going to do next. I was gonna make a day out of the lake trip, guys. I was gonna whip the drone out, get some shots of me riding the boat around, full throttle, all that jazz. I got this thing up to full throttle for a couple seconds, but other than that, I was terrified because I did not know how this outboard was gonna act or what it was gonna do next, which is scary. But even during the moments when I did catch full throttle, guys, a single cylinder engine, there's just no possible way that this thing is truly pushing 9 horsepower. So I am gonna go ahead and call BS on that. I don't know how they came up with that calculation, but whatever. As far as first days back on the water after a long winter goes, this one was not very enjoyable, but I'm never gonna stop keeping an eye out for cheaper ways to get a new engine and get on the water. I'm always gonna review those for you guys when I see them. This one's a loser though. Don't have many good things to say about it. Highly recommend you spend your money elsewhere. Weather is warm, lake is unfrozen, tons of good content coming your way, guys, so stay tuned. Appreciate you watching.